When people talk about the heroes of the Three Kingdoms period, Liu Bei is often remembered in moral terms. He is described as kind, compassionate, and righteous, a ruler who cared deeply about loyalty and justice. In traditional stories, Liu Bei represents legitimacy and virtue, especially when compared to figures like Cao Cao. But when we look closely at his actual life, something feels unusual. For most of his career, Liu Bei was not winning. He was struggling, retreating, and surviving rather than conquering. Liu Bei's early life offers few advantages. He did not inherit powerful territory, nor did he command large armies at the beginning. His political position was fragile, and his survival often depended on the goodwill of others. He moved from place to place, relying on alliances that were temporary and sometimes unreliable. From a purely strategic perspective, Liu Bei appeared weak. And yet, people followed him. This raises an important question: why would capable generals, scholars, and strategists choose to align themselves with someone who repeatedly lost power and territory? The answer lies not in military strength, but in Liu Bei's ability to create belief. Liu Bei understood something fundamental about chaos. When political systems collapse, people do not only fear violence or poverty. They also fear meaninglessness. Many warlords of the time offered security through force. Liu Bei offered something different, a moral narrative. He framed his struggle as a continuation of the Han dynasty's legitimacy and positioned himself as a guardian of ethical order. This narrative mattered deeply. Even when Liu Bei lacked resources, he possessed credibility. He was seen as someone who shared hardship with his followers. Stories of Liu Bei enduring hunger, sleeping outdoors, and escaping danger alongside his companions spread widely. Whether these stories were fully accurate is less important than the fact that people believed them. In politics, belief often matters more than facts. Another key element of Liu Bei's leadership was emotional connection. He treated his followers not merely as tools, but as partners in a shared cause. Loyalty was not enforced through fear, but cultivated through trust. This approach made his group resilient. Even when defeated, Liu Bei's followers did not immediately abandon him. They believed the cause was larger than temporary success. Liu Bei's repeated failures actually strengthened this perception. Each defeat reinforced the idea that he was not driven by personal ambition alone. He continued despite setbacks, which made his commitment appear genuine. In contrast, many warlords abandoned principles when conditions changed. Liu Bei remained consistent. The turning point in Liu Bei's career came with his relationship with Zhuge Liang. This partnership is often romanticized, but its significance is real. Zhuge Liang was not drawn to power or wealth. He was drawn to Liu Bei's persistence and sincerity. Liu Bei did not simply recruit Zhuge Liang, he convinced him that their shared values justified long-term risk. With Zhuge Liang's strategic guidance, Liu Bei finally gained stable territory in Shu. However, even as a ruler, Liu Bei remained different. His authority rested heavily on personal loyalty rather than institutional strength. This created unity, but also fragility. His state depended on emotional bonds, which could not always replace effective systems. This weakness became clear after the death of Guan Yu. Overcome by grief and loyalty, Liu Bei launched a campaign against Wu driven by emotion rather than strategy. The resulting defeat was catastrophic. It exposed a core contradiction in Liu Bei's character: the same emotional depth that inspired loyalty could also cloud judgment. From a modern perspective, Liu Bei represents a leadership model based on values rather than efficiency. He reminds us that power can emerge from trust, shared identity, and moral storytelling. He did not dominate through fear, nor did he outperform rivals in organization. Instead, he persuaded people to believe. So why does Liu Bei still matter today? because his story challenges a common assumption about success. We often believe that leadership is defined by results alone. Liu Bei's life suggests something more complex. He shows that in times of chaos, people may follow those who offer meaning, even when victory is uncertain. Liu Bei lost many battles. He lost territory. He lost opportunities. Yet in the end, he succeeded in creating a lasting political identity. His legacy is not measured by how much he conquered, but by how deeply people believed in him. That belief transformed failure into influence. And that is why Liu Bei remains one of the most fascinating figures of the Three Kingdoms period. He reminds us that history is not only shaped by those who win, but also by those who convince others that their cause is worth believing in.